Hey, what is going on, guys? My name is Felix, and in today's video, we are going to go over two very important details that's going to benefit you and help you secure additional funding for your startup, for real estate, or as a business owner themselves by implementing what we call our funding system and frameworks to secure additional 50 upwards to $500 in through business lines of credit and 0% business credit cards. Okay, cool. So, who is this program for? If you fall under any of these categories, obviously these are the best methods, funding methods to take advantage of because we have helped countless of business owners. Number one, if you fall under any of these categories, it can make you eligible to apply for not only the 0% business credit card stacking, where you can get zero up to 250,000 of that 0% interest through multiple banks, but you can also qualify for a business line of credit if you have an entity over 2 years. But if you don't have an entity over 2 years, in this case, you will fall under category two, where you can apply and honestly be eligible for the business credit card stacking and the personal credit card stacking itself. And usually that will get you up to 150,000. Or you might be in the real estate business, right? So we help countless of fix and flippers, wholesaling companies, just real estate investors in general. As long as you guys have anything related to, real estate, and that also counts Airbnb, you can also qualify for business credit card stacking, hard money loans, and no doc revenue type of business line of credit, which we helped over 800 real estate investors in just the past year obtain funding utilizing our funding system and the structure that we have in place. And again, these are the best use cases if you're trying to finance your down payment, rehab, material costs, earnest money costs, contracting costs, material costs, the whole 9 yards, right? So it's just additional liquidity that you can use instead of tapping into your own savings in that case. And why do we recommend using 0% business credit cards for real estate? Typically, the more money you have to put into a transaction, the better the terms you're going to get on a loan. When you show that you have other lines of credit or cash available, lenders will actually open up the doors that are otherwise closed to you if you don't have that capital on hand. Also, covering the basis of extra costs on closing, material, and rehab in general. You're not really risking your savings, but you're leveraging the bank's money, just like how they're leveraging our deposit and lending that out. We're taking advantage of these sort of 0% interest rates to invest in something that's going to produce income for us. And real estate is one of the best asset class to invest your money into when it comes to leveraging this system, right? So when it comes to lines of credit, why pay 20% interest rate when there are 0% to 3% card options available to you, right? So again, we're going to dive a little bit deeper into this as we move on to this PowerPoint. Or you might be a startup or a new business owner. In this case, you have the potential to get anywhere between 50 to 150,000. And the qualification is really based on the business age, credit profile, and your revenue. And again, we also help you structure new LLCs and form those banking relationships ahead of time so we can obtain these high limit approvals as compared to people that usually apply on their own. They might get a mediocre 5,000 to 7,000 on their business credit cards. As compared to us, we get anywhere between 25,000, 35,000, 45,000 per bank, even for a new startup business that's under 2 years, as long as they have a very structured and decent credit profile to work with in the first place. Okay, so if you guys don't know who I am, again, my name is Felix, and I co-founded this company with one of my partner. We have a couple investors on board, and we have a team of over 15 people that works day to day to assist business owners, real estate investors, and startups like yourself to make your dreams come true. We understand that obtaining and securing capital is just a whole different game that you need to understand and learn how to play. And as business owner, our job is to obviously create the product and services and focus on raising capital as well as forming our team and just creating businesses. But a lot of times we struggle with this part. So I made it my purpose when I started this company 4 years ago to go out to as much speaking events, to give presentations so we understand, hey, here are the best way of raising capital without having to give up equity, without having to risk your own savings, right? Without having to, take out business loans. A lot of times, startups, real estate investors, or business owners, they can't even secure business loans because they always ask for tax returns. They ask for bank statements. You might not have product market fit yet. You might not even be starting to get any sort of business. So we created this system where it allows and gives everyone an opportunity, regardless of what stages you're at within the business. We're still able to help you get funded with the best rate in the marketplace, which is at 0% interest for business credit cards. And then when it comes to higher level products, financial products like business line of credit, we also help you negotiate the best rates in the marketplace as well. So we've been invited to speak at different masterminds, different events all across, the United States, and we are planning to do at least 6 events this year. A lot of that's been posted on my YouTube, so feel free to watch those content if you guys have some time afterwards. Okay, and we also been featured in multiple news articles, as you can see here. And then our team member Daniel Morales, again, he does a lot of speaking events on behalf of the company as well. You can search him up in this case. So it just shows that we have a track record and credibility behind us. We have funded over 1,200 plus business owners in the past 4 years that we're in business, rated 4.8 stars, funded over $159 million at low interest funding for businesses, for all of these business owners throughout the duration that we work with them in the past 4 years, right? So let's dive into the qualification. So honestly, if you're someone coming in, you need to meet these sort of qualifications in order to even take advantage of the funding system and the program that we have. And it really puts you into 2 different categories, right? Category number 1 is what we call stage 1 funding. That's where a lot of, business owners, real estate investors, startups can qualify for with minimum requirements. Minimum requirements as in 700 plus FICO scores, less than 4 increase per credit bureau in the past 12 months. And keep in mind, this is something that we also help you do as well by wiping off those inquiries so you can be eligible for funding, making sure that there's no negative in the last 4 or 5 years. I think the biggest one would be collections, child support, bankruptcies, charge-offs. None of those, at least a seasoned credit profile with 3 to 5 accounts and 2 years of personal credit history, right? Optional to have tax returns and pay stubs. A lot of times we don't have those to show, or we're just in the process of doing tax returns. So it's not necessary. A lot of the business credit card applications and the bankers that we work with, they don't require you to show any financial documents. So anyone can just come in with no revenue on their business and qualify up to 150,000, 250,000. But on the business end, we do recommend that you have 1 year or old LLC entity, because that creates credibility within the business, knowing that, hey, it's been in business for at least a year, therefore it increases the chances of you getting approved, right? And again, we can also fund brand new LLCs over 3 months, but the results may vary, and that really depend on other factors that obviously we're going to go over with you just to see if you qualify. Now we have the second spectrum of our funding program, which we call stage 2, and that can get you anywhere between $250,000 upwards to $1 million in total funding. And again, same requirements on the personal side, but on the business now, you need to have a business over 2 years old or more of business tax returns if you guys have. If not, you can qualify, but for less than like $350,000, $400,000, right? If you don't have any revenue to show for it, you meet the requirements on the personal side. You do have a business for over 2 years, but having revenue in the business and being able to show it will help you, create that connection with these sort of lenders, and it does give you more options over time. But again, there's also options for you if you don't have those tax returns or bank statements, but you meet the 2 years requirement in business, and you also meet the following personal credit requirements listed above. Okay, so now we understand there's 2 spectrum of the programs based on your qualifications, and that if you meet one of them, then I highly encourage that you keep on watching, because we'll show you how the breakdown of this entire process work from step to step. And then last but not least, we'll give you a bonus by just staying and watching this entire video. Okay, so why did we decide that business credit and following the system is the best route to finance any of your real estate investments, to finance your business venture, your startup, or just raise capital in general. Because number one, it is the least risky way compared to using your own money, compared to getting a business loan. A lot of times they ask you to secure your assets. In this case, business credit cards is unsecured and does not report to personal credit, right? So certain funding products are unsecured. Business credit card is one of them. And again, they don't report to personal credit. So regardless of you maxing out the business credit card in this case for to hire employees to use that as a down payment for a property, it's not going to affect your personal credit, right? Number two, it's not high interest. So compared to the sort of like MCA loans out there or business loans, a lot of times it takes countless of documents in order to qualify. A lot of times startups and real estate investment companies or investors wouldn't qualify for it because banks don't like to see real estate. We have a structure, we have a loophole around it to help you get approved for these cards. But a lot of times when it comes to loans, it's a whole different spectrum of how that works. And a lot of times 99% of startups, business owners, real estate investors wouldn't qualify for it, right? And on top of that, you're actually saving on interest on money. A lot of times these interest loans have 8 to 10% minimum, right? But again, you're taking advantage of our 0% funding framework, which is stacking business credit cards at 0% introductory rates that you can use and honestly not pay any sort of interest for the next 12 to 15 months or even 18 months, right? You're also saving you also save on giving up any sort of equity of your company, any of your shares, and again, any of your deal flows when it comes to real estate. And last but not least, again, just to reconfirm, business loans are harder to qualify and need to meet strict qualifications, and plus it comes with high interest. Another reason why I like to focus on obtaining business credit, leveraging 0% interest, taking this system route, is because it's honestly helping your company build an asset and also build credibility, right? What you're doing is building a track record with these banks, therefore it qualifies you to apply for more lines of credit down the line, right, for a higher limit to help you negotiate the rates and also help you build a real asset, a true asset that allow you to borrow more money in the future, and it helps you build your business credit score, therefore increasing your credibility as a business owner and as the business itself. And then last but not least, who doesn't like cash back, travel points, protection, and rewards? And plus, it's a revolving credit line, meaning once you pay it down, you open up those credit limit again. You don't have to reapply for anything. You can start using that over and over and over, right? And as a business owner, leveraging this business credit system, I have not paid a single cent for travel in the past 4 years. A lot of the expenses that I'm already paying with, by using these sort of product and the system, I'm earning cash back. I'm getting a discount. I'm also getting travel points on just the spend that I'm doing on a day-by-day basis within the business. So ultimately, here are 3 ways leveraging credit is powerful. Again, little to no risk. We only help you focus on securing unsecured credit funding, meaning you don't have to put up your house on the line, your cash, your car, etc. Your assets are pretty much protected. Number 2 is low interest, 0% interest. And when leveraging credit is done correctly, you're actually not paying a single cent in interest. It's like me coming up to you and saying, hey, business owner, here's $150,000. You can do whatever you want with it as long as you're paying me back the principal. I'm not going to charge you any interest in the next 12 to 15 months. And a lot of time as business owners, as real estate investors, if you guys have a deal that you guys run the numbers on and it's going to produce you a 20% return on investment, it just makes sense to borrow money from the bank instead of risking your own savings in that case, which your savings can be better invested in a different asset class in the meantime, and you're double dipping and making more money in the meantime as well, right? And the last but not least is helping you build an asset for your business. Building a solid business credit profile is similar to building an asset over time. The more credible you are to financial institutions, the higher the valuation will be listed on your business. And as you can see, we have a few case studies, shout outs from our customer that we work with years ago or even to this current date. And I'm just going to walk you through kind of like the blueprint of how we conduct funding for them and see, if this also makes sense for you in the meantime too. Okay. I'm going to skip this slide. So stacking business line of credit, business credit card simultaneously as you scale is going to give you liquidity and access, higher limits, and it also gives you the opportunity to turn your credit into hard cash. And this is very applicable to real estate investors that are looking to, extract money out of these cards or these products and use it for a down payment on the properties, and knowing that you don't have to pay any interest on it. It works really well for fix and flippers, especially if you have turnaround projects of 36 months. You just leverage these business credit cards knowing that you have 0% interest for 12 months. You're borrowing money for free. You're working with a hard money lender, and then you're using that capital to pretty much increase the appraisal value of your property before flipping it in that timeline, right? And then you just pay the cards back and you repeat the cycle over and over and over. Cool. So here is pretty much how the funding process works. Phase one, credit optimization plan. We help you understand, what our network of lenders and banks are looking for ahead of time before we help you submit and structure any sort of applications. We help you make some sort of adjustment on your personal and business credit profile in order to really maximize the potential of how much funding that you're looking for. Just because we have insider data with our banking relationship managers of different institutions, we know exactly what they're looking for, and we structure your personal and business credit profile based on those parameters. Rather, it's helping you optimize your credit report, removing negatives, or building certain banking relationships to enhance this process. We actually assist you step by step in doing so. Phase two, once we completed step one, we start building out your custom funding plan, and we help you submit these applications with your account manager, right? So we put a lot of emphasis in one-on-one and customization. We want to make sure that you as business owners put in as little work as possible and focus on making money while we raise the capital for you with these banking relationships that we work with and with our expertise in this field. So our team will assign you an account manager that will help you map out your custom funding plan based on your credit and business profile along with your funding goals. Again, there is no one size fits all approach, and we customize each lender products tailored to the best interest of you and the business. And then last but not least, this is what we call the cleaning and scaling phase. Once the funding is complete, we also help you, assist you with increasing limits on certain approvals if we feel it's best fit. In this scenario, there might also be some decline applications. It happens. Not everything's going to be perfect. I'm just going to be honest and transparent about that. But we do our due diligence to help you overturn those applications into approval. Again, turning those declines into approvals for you with some of our strategies that we have in place, some of our connections that we have within these banks. We're really good at overturning those sort of applications at the end of the day. And then lastly, what we do is we help you clean up your credit report and ensure that your credit score isn't being impacted significantly. So that means wiping off the inquiries at the end of it. So your credit is honestly not being damaged at all, right? Cool. So again, just to reconfirm, step one is the onboarding. As you can see, we host weekly coaching calls. We want to make sure that we also assist everyone in a timely manner. We also assign you a one-on-one account manager that you're going to be speaking individually with, and then doing these weekly calls. You will also have access to me when it comes to understanding, hey, what are sort of the best banks? What are some of the strategies right now? What are some of the best products in the marketplace right now at the lowest interest rates, at 0% interest rates that we can put you through, that we can also connect you with the right bankers with. Is just really maximizing your knowledge in this field, because I understand it's a lot, especially when I first started. I wish someone was there to kind of like hold my hand and, give me that customized game plan to get me to my funding goal. Rather, you're investing into real estate, growing your business, or starting a new business in this case, right? So again, our 10-year of experience funding managers will give you our 3-step process to help you optimize your personal credit and business credit profile before funding even begins. You will also get access and insight to our no-doc lender database. And what we do is every day we have team members working on accumulating data points on some of the best lenders that will give you maximum approvals and limits based on your state, based on the banks, Plus, we give you access to our 50-hour of training templates, negotiations on how to filter, source, and deal with the best institutions across the nation that's tailored to your business credit profile and credit score for maximum approvals. Okay, step 2, this is again more one-on-one preparation and helping you come up with a funding plan. After we collect all of the information necessary, we will either move you with the funding plan customized to you or go through a credit optimization process. So there's part 1. Our team will pretty much map out all of the best possibilities of lenders in your local area. So for example, again, over here, we constantly put data points on what we can find on the internet on certain clients that we work with, and we take all of those data points, put it into that database, and that we use to honestly map out the best possibilities of lenders in your area and nationwide that would best fit your criteria along with your funding goals. And in part 2, our team will actually work with the relationship managers and relationship lenders that we have direct access to. We actually work with their underwriting team to help you submit those applications right away. And then step 3 is finalizing your funding and approvals. Once funding is complete, we assist you with increasing the limits on certain approvals. There might be declined applications that we can help you overturn. And then lastly, we make sure that we help you clean up your credit report and ensuring your credit score isn't being impacted significantly, right? So as you can see, we help you from business credit cards to business line of credit, sometimes even SBA financing, right? So for example, one of our clients, Todd, he owns multiple franchises. He just got approved for a $200,000 SBA loan to start another franchise. Now he has 4 different franchises under his belt through a matter of obtaining over $500,000 in total funding working with us in the past 60 days. So if you decide to work with us, we do have 3 special funding specialists on the team that you will be either assigned to or work one-on-one directly with, right? So I am the senior funding coordinator here, and I train both of my account managers, which are funding specialists, based on their experience in the banking and in the credit card stacking world. So we have a total of 3 specialists on board that serves over 100 clients per month, and we're able to devote that one-on-one time with you by really understanding where your personal and business credit structure is at, and then build a customized funding game plan based off of that. Okay, so with that being said, I'll give you guys a run through of some of the examples that we have helped real estate investors with in the past, as well as some business owners, just so you guys have a little bit more context, right? So for example, Edgar, he joined pretty much last year, and it took him over 21 days, around that range, to get a total of 125,000 in funding. And then the second round, which only takes 14 days, get 181,000. And in between both of those rounds, we actually wipe off all of the inquiries off his credit report. So we're starting as a clean slate again. And then during the second round of funding, we went back to another funding round, but with a different set of banks, right? So that allow us to really capitalize and work with different relationships of banks over time and help us negotiate for higher limits down the line in 2 different funding rounds. So Edgar, he has an Airbnb business over 2 years. He was looking for additional funding for his ADU units, limited cash flow in the business. So we focus mainly on the no-doc funding products. So this includes business credit cards, and then there are some lenders that we have data points and direct access to information on that doesn't require any sort of tax returns, banking statements in order to qualify for these business line of credit. And again, this process took 2 rounds of funding, ranging between 1 to 2 months in between, and we really focused heavily on the 0% interest. So as you can see, here's pretty much all of the breakdown of the funding amount that he was able to get. And keep in mind, 90% of the funding that he obtained was at 0% interest for anywhere between 12 to 15 months, as you can see all the way to the right. And then there's a business line of credit that we got him at a 5% interest rate at a 70,000, which is extremely good, given that he didn't have to submit anything in terms of bank statements, tax returns, or even income verification in this case. Okay, and then next up, we actually got a shout out by Grant Cardone. If you guys haven't seen the video, I'm just going to play it for you real quick. We did help some of his real estate investors or his clients obtain funding for real estate. doing wholesaling or fix and flips. So it was pretty much an honor getting shouted out by Grant Cardone, the king himself. And I've been, looking up to him ever since. And, working with his clients and able to provide funding for his client is just something that we look forward to continue doing. And that what inspire us to create this company and serve people like you over time. Yeah, so we actually went to multiple of his conferences, actually met up with him, and then from there, it's pretty much helping a lot of his clients obtain funding and then also making sure that they scale their real estate investments over time. So, moving on, we do have what we call the franchise business model, which we're able to obtain funding with. And again, in the previous slide, if you saw the SBA financing at 200,000, that is the exact company that we work with, exact business owner. We also have this listed on our YouTube, so make sure to see the full testimonial breakdown on that. But this business owner is in need of capital for marketing, sales, and equipment expansion, and also a down payment for his next franchise. He came in with pretty excellent credit and went through 2 rounds of funding with us in 60 days or less. And he was able to avoid giving up equity to potential investor or even saving at least a minimum of 15% on some of the high interest business loan that he was quoted for. And we're able to help him secure, pretty much 80% of the 429,000 was at 0% interest, do business credit cards under 2 different entities that he has, and then securing the business SBA financing as well. I think that's roughly anywhere between 8 to 10%, 30-year fixed loan. Okay, and then we have Connor over here. We work with a lot of fix and flippers in this case. Again, you guys can click on this video and watch it whenever you have time. But he was looking for 80,000 of 0% interest capital for his next fix and flip deal. He wanted to preserve his savings for other investment and is in need for additional low interest capital to help him cover the payment, closing costs, materials, and rehab. Overall, we got him funded pretty quickly in less than 30 days. We also kind of like teach him how to extract the money off of these credit cards into cash, because obviously you can use your credit card as a down payment for these properties. So there is, higher advanced methods that we kind of walk you through, and we have liquidation partners that will help you extract those credit lines into cash. And then Reggie as well, as you can see his testimonials over here, he is pretty much an investor in wholesaling, tax deeds, and then as well as doing fix and flips. He originally, started a sports agency company and had dreams of really transitioning full time into real estate investing. And through the funding round that we're able to get for him, he was able to, I think, manage 3 flips in the past 6 months, and he's coming back to us with another round of funding right now. And the most recent flip that he did with the funding that we're able to obtain, his project was able to yield him a $90,000 in total profit. And as you can see here, here is word for word of what Reggie sent us to our team, right? And then we have I think his name is Aaron. He's also another fix and flippers, and you can redo this entire description yourself. But this is sort of like the breakdown of the total amount of funding that we're able to obtain him at 0% interest, right? And then we have just countless of case studies ranging from FBA, Amazon, fulfilled by Amazon, different business models out there, different startups, a lot of fix and flippers, a lot of people in the Airbnb space. I personally have multiple Airbnbs in Vegas, and what we do is we leverage pull together with our partners on these 0% business credit cards, invest in properties, cash flow them, having a system in place, and just scaling from that point on by leveraging the system and the structure that we built in place to help you maximize the amount of funding that you can get at once, right? And this is our most recent win. So Sean has a pet grooming business, and we just got her 349,000 in total funding. We did it with a mix of business credit cards at 0% interest, She is revenue based, meaning she does have the bank statements to support it. So that's how we're able to hit that 350,000 mark in less than 15 days. That is our quickest turnaround time, as well as the most amount funded in that timeline. So we're still in the process of finalizing a few more pending applications, and she did get a couple rejections, but we're gonna work with her one-on-one to help her overturn that, so that 340,000 might look like 500,000 after 2 weeks, right? So over the years, we just collect and helped serve a lot of small business owners, real estate investors, and to startups in this case, help them start the project that they're hoping to start, but they just don't have the capital in hand, or investing into payroll and scaling their current business through marketing expenses. That does take a lot of capital, and you always want to make sure you position yourself to have as much money as possible during downturns like this when you need it the most, right? So that's what we're here to support you. Really, really do our best to try to understand your business model, where you're coming in from, and then also what your funding objective is, taking account of your personal and your business credit structure, right? We do all of that for you because I understand like this is an entire business on its own, and this is something that we specialize in. So rather than doing it on your own, do consult with one of our experts to see how we can help you. And most ultimately, just make sure to check out some of the case studies that we have, because we have helped over 1,200 plus members in the past 4 years, just obtaining funding and then making sure to teach them how to utilize it correctly over time. And at the end of the day, it's just really fulfilling that we're able to build a team to able to help support and give back to our community, right? Cool. So what would be the next steps for you? Basically, what you're going to do is fill out the questionnaire and schedule a time to speak with one of our underwriters. Again, it will be either me or a couple other underwriters that you're going to be speaking with. We will be pretty much learning about your business and coming up with a customized funding game plan for you on the call, complimentary, for free. We're not gonna really sell you too hard on the program. Obviously, we want you to join, but again, use it as a way to take advantage of our expertise to break it down to you so you understand it. Because my job is to provide as much value to you up front and make sure it makes sense for you to work with us. But again, with the information that we provide on these calls, you can also take it and implement it on your own. But again, my job is to give back to you just because you trusted and watched this entire video. We just want to make sure you're educated on how to take advantage of one of the best financial credit system in the entire world. And also, last but not least, we ask that you show up on time. We've been getting a lot of no-shows lately. Again, we value your time just as much as you value ours. So please respect our underwriters' time when we're actually taking the time to sit down with you and analyze your business model to understand how much funding that we can plan for you in the first place, right? So just to give you a quick sneak peek of some of the questions that we're going to be asking, what we're going to be doing during the call after you schedule a Zoom call is we're going to dive into your credit score, really understanding your personal credit report. We're also going to understand your funding goals, your funding objectives, some of the relationships that you have. Really dive deep into the bones, the financial bones of your personal credit and also your business to understand, hey, here are some of the best, products, banks that we can work with in order to secure you the most amount of money possible. Okay. So with that being said, I thank you again for watching and staying with me. It means a lot to me, and I can't wait to speak with you one-on-one doing these calls or with one of our team members. And again, make sure to give us a follow on our social media page. If you guys have any questions, again, make sure to write them down before the call starts. And from that point on, I hope, I wish you the best with everything that you're doing. And I really do wish that you consider joining this program and speak with us, because I do want to meet you and see how we can help you secure funding for your dreams and your goals. All right. Talk to you soon.